How's it going, YouTube? This is Coxie1979, old school gamer, and today we are going to be doing part 5 of our Unity 5 first person shooter tutorial series. What we're going to be doing today is I've just found a few old JavaScripts online and sort of modified them a little bit. We're going to be importing a model into our scene, and we're going to be doing a little bit of enemy AI. The script I'm going to be using, it needs a few other scripts to go with it for all of its features to work, but we're only going to be putting the one script on today and typing that up, which is just the actual basic AI. And what it's going to do is actually, when we're a certain distance away from the enemy, he's just going to turn and look at us, and when we move closer a certain distance that we define, he's going to start chasing after us, and then when he gets really close to us, he will start attacking. He's not going to attack us today, but we're still going to set up most of that in this script for next time. So we better get started because we've got a bit to do. So I'm just going to import a 3D model that I just got offline, like always. Excuse me. You guys can just go onto Unity Asset Store and anything like that, and just just get a free one yourself. It'll usually come with animations and textures and things, or you can just find another free one online. Just be careful when you're using other people's models and things that you understand what the copyright is on that model. Especially if you want to use it for a commercial game, just make sure you check and make sure that that's okay. Anything's pretty much fine to use as personal use, that you're not going to make money on and things like that. Okay. So I've got me model in this in the scene. Sorry, it's a tyrant zombie, it's called, and he's really tiny. So I'm going to size him up. You can just click on the model down here. You can size it in Unity if you want, but it's easy if you just click on the model here and then scale factor. I'm just going to make this 45 because I've used this model before. I think that's about right. He might be a bit small. He's okay. Click on him up here. I'm just going to make him face us. Actually, no, I won't make him face us, because then when I put the script on him and he turns to face us, I want to make sure that it's actually working properly. So we've got him in the scene, and he's already got his textures on him. Yours, you might have to put the textures on yourself. I think I've used this model before. That's why the textures automatically would just somehow Unity remembered how I had it. So if you want to put textures on, just get the textures for your model and find where the actual mesh of the model is, and you'll just find the part that's got a material on it. It'll usually always have a material, just a plain material, and then you can just drag your textures on like so. So that was the albedo, and that was the null map, which we've talked about in when we built the houses. And I've just put the smoothness up to 1 to make him look a little bit shiny and a bit wet looking, because it looks kind of gross and cool. Okay, so that's all done, and now what we're going to do is I'll just go into the scripts folder over here. Actually, I better make sure, because I've just reinstalled a new version of Unity, because I completely cleared out my computer yesterday and I had to install a few things again. So I better put this back on Mono Develop. Preferences, there it is. External tools. For some reason, Visual Studio wasn't there anyway. Okay, that's a bit weird. I'll fix that later. So create JavaScript, and we'll just call it enemy AI, because that's what it is. Double click on that like always to open it up. Okay, so I'll just leave this stuff on here this time, because we'll be using function start and function update in this script. So we're just going to start off with some variables. I won't explain everything, because otherwise the video is going to go way too long again, but I will explain the general gist of this script. So we're just going to do some variables first, and the first one is going to be var distance semicolon, then we're going to do var target. It's going to be a transform, pretty much exactly the same as what we used for the door script the other day. So we're actually going to drag something into that transform. Var look at distance, and we're just going to make that. We can change this. We'll be able to change all of these, but for now we'll just set it to about let's set it to 30 for now. And that's just going to be how far away we are from the enemy when it turns and looks at us. So in this case, it's going to be 30 Unity units. Now we're going to do var chase range, and we'll equal that to about 20. Yeah, 20 will be fine for now. As I said, we can change all these. So this is going to be how far we're away from the enemy when he actually starts to chase after us. And now we'll do var attack range. And obviously this one is how far the enemy is going to be away from us when he tries to attack us, which he's not actually going to do today because we need some other scripts as well to get it all working properly, so we won't even know if he's damaging. We could do a debug.log, but yeah, we'll just get through this first and see how we go. And we're going to do the move speed, so how fast the enemy is actually going to move, and we might make that 4 will be fine. I think that we don't want it to move too fast. And then we'll do var damping, and we'll equal that to 6 for now, and we'll also do var attack repeat time, and that's just going to be like how often he keeps attacking. So after he's hit us once, there'll be 1 second, and then he'll hit us again. So we can change that how we want it as well. Next one's going to be var, actually I'll just keep these in lowercase. I always like to do for your variables a lowercase. If it's going to be like 2 words, do lowercase for the first one, and then do a capital for the second, and all the rest that follow after that. It's just a good practice to get into. And that's the damage. So we're not going to actually use this tutorial, but we will be using it in the future. Private var, we'll do attack, attack time, and that will be a float, and we'll do var controller, and this will be a character controller. So we're actually going to have to put a character controller on our model, or whatever you're using as your enemy. What am I doing? Sorry, I get distracted when I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. And then we're going to do var gravity, so what's keeping in the model on the actual ground, or the weight of him. Float equals 20, and we'll do a private var move direction vector 3, one word, vector 3 equals vector 3 dot 0. Alright, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. I forgot to do this last time, sorry guys, just so you can actually read it a lot easier. I'll do one more and that should be fine. Okay, that's a bit better. You should be able to see that nice and clear now. Then we'll go into our function start, and we're going to put attack time equals time dot time, just like that. Alright, so now come down to the function update. I'm going to do distance equals vector 3 dot distance target dot position transform dot. Make sure, see how it tries to auto fill in the words for you, or fill in the code for you, sorry. We don't want this transform, we want the small or lowercase t for transform dot position. And see how it's done this as well. It's changed this to target iOS graphics. Make sure that it doesn't have the iOS graphics on it. Target with a capital T and then all in lowercase, and don't forget to put your semicolon on the end. Okay, so now we'll do an if statement. So if distance is less than look at distance, as we've defined the variable at the top as look at distance. So if the enemy, if we're less than 30 Unity units away from the enemy, this is what is going to happen. If I can type. Okay, so it's going to be look at player, and we're going to define further on down this code what this actually means, to look at player, because at the moment it doesn't mean anything, but we will be writing that a bit further down. Actually, I don't want to get out of these brackets. What am I doing? Make sure you write in this code all of these if statements in between the function update, the opening and closing bracket. See, if I click down here, you can see that's the closing curly bracket for this one up here. So just make sure that these are in between them two. Okay, another if statement. If distance is less than attack range, so the attack range is 2 Unity units. So if we're closer than 2 Unity units, then we want the enemy to attack player, open and close parentheses, semicolon. And we haven't defined what attack player is yet either, but we will. So underneath that, do an else if statement. Else if, so if we don't meet the requirements for these two up the top, then we want to do this. Distance is less than chase range. So if we're closer than 20 Unity units, then we want the enemy to chase us, which is just going to be called chase player, open close parentheses, semicolon. Okay, now we're going to define what these functions are, because at the moment they it's not going to do anything if we run this code. So we're going to define what look at player is. So function look at player, open close parentheses, open close curly brackets. I wish I could just scroll this up more, but you can't. It's really annoying. Okay, well, I don't know how to anyway. Var rotation equals quaternion dot look rotation target dot position, and it's done it again. Keep an eye on this and make sure that you don't have that. It'll still probably work the code, but you'll probably get some error messages down the bottom. That's all. But so just make sure it's written exactly like that. So target dot position minus the transform position. Transform dot position. Close that off with the closed parentheses and a semicolon. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Semicolon. One of them. Okay, underneath that, I'll just leave a little gap so you can read a bit better. Transform dot rotation equals quaternion dot slurp transform dot rotation comma rotation comma time dot delta time. And I better close off the parentheses there, or else we're going to get an error. Delta time, hang on. I've got to add in damping times damping. You know I'm going to make mistakes. I do that, but it's good if I make mistakes because then you guys can see how not to do it. And that's why you got to be careful when you are writing out a code, because if you make one mistake, it's not going to work. But that's okay because we can always fix it eventually. Okay, so we've done the function for the look at player, so it knows what that is now. So now we're going to do the one for we'll do chase player. So function chase player, open close parentheses, open close curly brackets, move direction equals transform dot forward, and then move direction times, so shift 8 times equals move speed. Underneath that, scroll this up a bit, I'm going to do move direction dot y minus equals gravity times time dot delta time. Should I have written that correctly? Yes, I think so. And then underneath this, controller dot move direction times, you guessed it, time dot delta time. Okay, so that's our function chase player, and now we've only got the attack player to go, I believe. Yes, we've got to define what attack player is. So function attack player. If time is greater than attack time, then target dot send message apply damage. The damage. As I said, in this tutorial, we're not going to have the enemy doing damage to us, not yet. We're just going to get up the basic chasing after us and things like that. And then later on in the tutorials, we'll start working with our health and the enemy's health and being able to kill each other, basically, which is what we want. Okay, next one, attack time equals time dot time plus attack repeat time and underneath this we're going to do the function for applying the damage. So function apply damage, even though we're actually not going to be getting hurt by the enemy today, we still have this in here, so it's ready to go for next time. Chase range plus equals 30, move speed plus equals 2, and look at distance plus equals 40. Okay, so I've probably made mistakes like usual, but actually that there, the damage, yeah, see, I told you, I seen that straight away. It's supposed to be lowercase t. That's why you get in the habit of doing that, because then you can pick up your mistakes quite easily for your variables. Save, and I've probably made more. I'll just check that it hasn't done that iOS thing anywhere else. So that was one there, and we fixed that, and we fixed it there. Alright, I've saved it already enough times. Let's go back into Unity for a second. And what have I got? I've got an error, unexpected token. Let's have a look at this. So what have I done? I've put a closed parentheses on the end of that. And I don't need one. That's what Unity's saying to me. I don't need that. I don't know why I put it there then. Okay. Save that. Make sure you go back and change it under function chase player. If you copied exactly like me, you probably would have picked it up when I was typing it. But if you didn't, make sure you fix it. What have I done now? I've made another mistake. If distance is less than look at distance. What's wrong with that? If distance is less than look at distance. Can't really see what I've done wrong there. If Distance is less than look at distance. Okay, just give me a second. I'll quickly go over this and I'll work out what I've done wrong and I'll come back. Okay guys, I've worked out what I did wrong. Pretty stupid mistakes, really, like always. And totally avoidable. Look here, as I was saying about it doing the autocomplete, you probably picked this up straight away, but I wasn't paying attention. So make sure that that transform is a small t for a start. And then the other massive mistake I made is up here where it says Pragma Strict. Take that off, okay? We don't want that. So take off the Pragma Strict and make sure your transforms are lowercase, okay? The only transform we want in capital is this one up here. And these two in lowercase. Okay, so hopefully that will fix the problem. I can't see anything else wrong with the code at the moment. No errors. Okay, awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'll just get back to my main assets folder, and with this dude here I'm just going to, I might add a capsule collider as well just because I can, and I'm just going to bring that up a little bit and I'm going to make it a bit higher, probably not that high. Maybe just bring it down a little bit. Okay, I'll make it just a little bit higher. Okay, that should be pretty much perfect. I might just make the radius just a little bit bigger. And then we need a character controller, like I was saying, because our script asks for a character controller. And if it hasn't got one, well, it's not going to work. So we need to do the same thing again. So just come here to the center, move it up, and then make it taller. I might just move that up a little bit more, and I'm just going to make the radius just slightly bigger than the capsule collider. And now we should be able to put our script on here. So I'm just going to grab our script, to the main one here, and I'll just drag the enemy AI script straight onto here, and it's all come up, which shows us that it's all good, because if there's errors in the code, you won't have all these options here. So as I said, we can change the look at distance, the chase range, attack range, the speed he moves at, the damping, the attack repeat time, how much damage he does, all this stuff. But first of all, we need to give him a target, which is going to be us. So grab your first person controller, drag that into there, and then for controller you need to grab the character controller for the actual enemy, which is just here, and just drag that in there, and it should work. So let's try it out. Okay, so we're in Unity and he's got his back towards us. So if I move forward, see that? We got to the right distance. Once we get within 30, he turns around and looks at us. And if we keep moving forward, once we get into 20, he starts to chase us. Just had a bit of a glitch out there. I'm just going to run backwards really fast. And once I get outside of 30, he stops again. Move forward, and he starts to chase us. Ooh. Okay. Cool. So that works for now. Works good enough. Later on in the tutorial series, or much later on, or in another tutorial series, we'll actually use NavMesh, because NavMesh is, well, I think it's way better. Just for the simple fact that with scripts like this, the enemy sometimes gets a bit confused around obstacles and things like that. Whereas with NavMesh, it's actually really good, and the enemy will avoid obstacles and know how to get around obstacles to continue chasing you. We're also going to do some animations for these for this enemy, or whatever enemy you've got as well. Probably attack animation, idle animation, and a chasing animation for each one of these things here. And your model will probably come with them exact animations anyway, which this one does as well. So okay, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. In the next tutorial, I think we're going to be doing we'll make it so we can damage the enemy and we can shoot the enemy. So we'll be doing a ray casting script, and we'll also make it so that when we shoot the enemy, maybe we can have some blood or something come out of him. Okay. Alright guys, cool. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.